Thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me. We are featuring this new collection by Chantecaille. It's the Le Papillon collection. I've got an eyeshadow palette, I've got a couple of lip shears, and I was lucky enough for them to send this to me, so they have sent this to me. This is one of the most highly anticipated collections released this year, and actually every release of theirs is highly anticipated for me because I love Chantecaille. It's one of my favorite brands. Their skincare, their philosophy about makeup and sustainability, all of that resonates with me, and I use more products of theirs than almost anything else. And when they do come out with a collection, it's typically highly curated, and they don't have so many releases during the year. There are very few during the year. I appreciate the level of intent behind every product. So today I'll be trying these out. I'll be trying out some of my other favorite Chantecaille products that maybe I haven't shown in a while. And for those of you who like a fresh look, I did not powder today. So I'll show you how I did that, how I finished it off today, and also give you my thoughts on this highly, highly anticipated collection. And I did just recently have a question about my skincare right before I apply makeup because I had a question how my skin looks so moisturized. So of course I love Chantecaille products, so thought this would be appropriate for this video. This won't take a whole lot of time up from the video, but I wanted to show you. So we've got the Bio Lifting Serum Plus, and this is the one I use during the day. It comes in a dropper like this. Just take a few drops, not very many. Just apply in upward motions like this. This isn't a heavy kind of feeling. It just moisturizes and absorbs well into the skin. I've already done my eye care as well. Rose de May Eye Lift, and then the Bio Lifting Plus for the eyes. So once that's absorbed nicely, then I go in with the Chantecaille. This is the Bio Lifting Cream Plus, and don't take very much of that either, depending on your skin type though. So like actually that's a lot for me here. So if drier skin may require more, oily skin may require less. So in this case, I'm combo. Same uplifting motions. Then I'll wait somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour before I apply makeup. So I'm just gonna let this absorb. But this is my freshly moisturized skin. So I hope that helps. Okay, so I just went through with a Dyson, the straightener, and then I just use a round brush for my bangs. So let's go ahead and add some of this, which is really lovely. It's one of my favorite tinted moisturizers by Chantecaille. This is the Just Skin Tinted Moisturizer. This was updated a little while ago, so it has the wavy lines if you haven't seen that one. This one I have in tan and in wheat. So I'm gonna do a little blending, of course. I am kind of neutral and warm at the same time. So we've got here, this is wheat, and then this one over here is tan. I've got a brush here. This is a Chantecaille foundation and mask brush. And for me, this has a little bit more coverage than the Future Skin Gel. So it's really effortless, very easy to wear kind of product. And I can build it up to minimize this a little bit as well, the dark spots. So I'm gonna add a little bit more of tan. So we've got half with the tinted moisturizer over here and then no tinted moisturizer. So it looks really natural. Okay, let's just even that out. Okay, so for bronzer, let's do that first before we put concealer on. We're going to go in with the Sheer Glow Bronze Face Tint, and it looks like this. This is the shade we'll use it for bronzer. I am just going to use the same brush. There's the color right there. We'll go really subtle. Okay, for concealer, we're going to go really light. So we're going to use this, the Camoflauge Stylo by Chantecaille. This is in 4C, and I'll also use it on my dark spots here. So I'm just going to focus it like this. And then just use my clean hands. So even though it's like a lightweight, it works really well. And then anywhere else I would normally conceal. Let's put in some of the Chantecaille Full Brow Perfecting Gel first. If you were ever curious, it has a more gentle hold for the brows. So if your brows are less coarse than mine, This might be a really nice one for you if you want something really natural. Okay, we're gonna go in with a pencil in a little bit, but while we let that set, let's go in with Victoria Beckham's Trench. I just wanna cancel out the darkness. And then we're going to go in with the Swede pencil. This is in Bright. And we're going to use the Taupe Baby Blade by Victoria Beckham for the brows. Okay, finally, let's go into this eyeshadow palette. So we've got here the Nymph Eye Trio, and this one has some beautiful shades. When I swatched this earlier, I swatched this in a short. So if you haven't seen that, hopefully it's gone up. But I swatched this, and these two were really creamy, and then this was more like the appearance of a butterfly's wing in that it was more intermittent. It's really beautiful. So let's go ahead with this shade first. This is really close to my skin tone. So I'm using the Eye Basic brush, and this one also has an interesting contour to it. So you can see there's some graduated bristles here on this side, and then it's not like that on this side. Let's go on the eyelid. So immediately when I saw this shade and this shade, I thought those are two beautiful one and dones. Yeah, they swatched really smoothly, evenly. So I expect really nice things with this application as well. So you could stop there if you wanted to. I think some people would really like that. I mean, it's a really beautiful shade. Let me see if I can show you a little bit closer. That's what it looks like on. It's really pretty. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to try this lighter shade on top here. Just in the center here. So this is like a really simple eye. Looks like that. This brush here is by Chantecaille. Also, it's their angled eyeliner brush. And I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water here. So see if we can make it an eyeliner. I'm not sure. Actually, it's really pretty. I'll go up close in a minute so you can see it's really subtle, but beautiful. It's really pretty. I just opened a new box of the Chantecaille Faux Longest Lash Mascara, and I've been trying out other mascaras recently, and it's so nice to go back to this. It just builds so beautifully. One thing I encounter with other mascaras is when I add more mascara, it gets kind of bulky at the ends and doesn't look nice. This always has a nice tapered effect to it, so it builds more at the base and then it tapers off at the end, which I really like. So I don't have the clumping at the ends, they don't stick together. And I added, well, I don't know if I added more coats than typical, but I went through my lashes many, many times. So it always separates nicely when I do that and doesn't do anything strange. So I really love that one. So I'm really glad I opened up a new one. Okay, let's go. We're gonna add a little bit more of that lavender shade, that beautiful, it's really beautiful, to the eye in a little bit, but I wanted to leave it there in case those of you who want something really simple. I wanted to show how you could do that by taking the two lighter shades. Again, we went in with this one first, great one and done here. This would be a beautiful one and done. And then I went in with this one here, just in the center. So those of you who have been here before probably noticed I did not powder. So I thought we would do is take the Butterfly blush by Chantecaille. Of course, I wanted to use Butterfly. Now this is really light, but I want to show you how this looks on my skin type because it looks really light, really cool. It gives you a little better idea. There's almost like a lavender note to this, and we're just gonna apply it right on the cheek. But you can see there is color payoff. It's really soft. Let's add a little bit more of that lavender shade to the exterior corners. Then a little bit more of this shimmery shade to the center. Try and add this to the bottom, like right on that bottom right under the lash. Set a little bit more concealer. And then let's go in with Clé de Peau Honey on the exterior corners. And I really liked this BK Beauty brush to blend that in. That was nice last time I used it. Just gives a nice clean line there. Let's try something really fast because I really enjoyed this palette. This is the Chanel palette. Let's go over the blush and warm it up just slightly with this color right here. I use this as a blush, so I thought we could add a little bit of glow here and warm it up slightly. So there is the difference. It just adds some more dimension to this area, gives it a little bit more warmth. I'm just going to fix my hair here and then we'll try on the lip shears. Just need to put a little hairspray in my hair and brush it and then refix my bangs. I love bangs, but they are high maintenance. And I know a lot of people prefer no powder, so I have not powdered, but I do have a little bit of a powder product in terms of the blush on my face. But another thing that can happen when I don't powder is my hair sticks to my face. So if I have any hair stuck to my face, that's why. And this insert here I forgot to talk about. It explains the initiative a little bit more if you're not familiar with it, but it says here in 2006, the company founder, who is Sylvie Chantecaille, had noticed that the butterflies that habitually visited her garden in summer had nearly vanished. This realization led her on a mission to understand the threats to the survival of these fragile pollinators and the launch of their first philanthropy collection, Les Papillons. Protecting butterflies remains a passion for Chantecaille, which is why they're supporting 2 nonprofits around the world that conserve butterflies and their habitats. It says here on the back, Beauty with Impact, which I really appreciate. It says Chantecaille's donation will go towards supporting the Cils Society, Pollinator Habitat Kit Program, and the Butterfly Conservation's work in urban areas. And they create space for butterflies in some of the UK's most nature-depleted areas. That's what this collection focuses on. So you've got here this palette, and I believe there's another palette. And this one is the one that has the more lavender shade, which I really love, the Nymph Eye Trio. But this other one looks really interesting too, the Diana Eye Trio with the green in there. I think green shadow is really beautiful too. I think this is a little bit more wearable, something I would wear more frequently, but it's very whimsical, this green. I think really, really beautiful. For this Nymph shade, Luminous Sheer Copper, so that was the first one I put on, which is kind of like my skin tone, but a little peachier. You have the Shimmering Lilac, which I kept calling lavender, so they call it Shimmering Lilac. And then shade 3 is the Golden Peach with the gold speckles. So it definitely has a gold speckled element to it, which I think is so, so beautiful. And this is my speed of makeup. When I want to add color, it's going to be something kind of subtle, understated, elegant, but also whimsical. I think Chantecaille does an excellent job of weaving that into their collections. Elevated, luxury, classic, also with a little bit of a whimsical element. Let's move along to the lip shears. Looks like there are 4 in total, and I've got 2 here. So there's Gossamer, which is a pale rose, which I don't have. Swallowtail, which is a dusty mauve, which I also don't have. But I have here Monarch, which is a sheer raspberry, and Ringlet, which is a plummy pink. So let's do Ringlet first, because I feel like that might be lighter, I'm not sure. I love the lip sheer formula. I love the shape. It's one of the things that I wish they had as a permanent item. They're usually limited edition, and if you like them, I would get them. So what I love is the shape, and I love the hydration, and I usually will go through these all the way until they're done. So it's one of the few products that I have. I have so many beautiful items that I have access to here, but out of all of them, this is one of the few products I go through all the way. So this one is in a ringlet. Oh, by the way, I did put a little bit of this lip potion on by Chantecaille at the beginning when I did the skincare piece of it, or shortly thereafter, I can't remember. It was around that time. That's been doing a really nice job of hydrating my lips until this point. So let me see. I might have, actually, let me remove some of it. So this one is, again, ringlet. It's just evened out my skin tone. It's slightly lighter than my actual lip color. I think think if I went a lot more bold, like I used more of this color, the lilac color, I would probably wear this because it's so subtle, but it's really hydrating, very natural look. Okay, let's try the next one. I knew it didn't look like much color on my lips, but I already have a lot of color to my lips, and use this to remove it. This is the color. If you couldn't see it, you can see why it kind of blended in, because it looks very similar, if not a little bit lighter than my natural color. Okay, let's go in next with this one. This is in Monarch, and Monarch is described as a sheer raspberry. I love a raspberry toned lip, so let's see how this looks. Okay, so this is interesting because even though it's raspberry, and raspberry is usually cool on me, this one has a little hint of warmth. It is beautiful though. Okay, I thought I did change the battery, but I thought I would lean in just so you can see in more detail, because I don't know how difficult it is to see from further back, me sitting further back, but here is the eye look and the lip. It's really beautiful. And again, this is no powder. Also, if you have not seen the tinted moisturizer up close, it's a really beautiful product. And again, I have mine in tan, was like the peachier of the two. And the other one that I used was wheat. So blending them together and then putting more of the tan closer to the dark spots. Oh yeah, and then you can see the Camoflauge Stylo up close, how it looks really seamless on the skin. Okay, and then I wanted to show you that before I do one more thing, because this has been such a go-to for me, this Chanel palette. We're going to add a little bit of the shimmery bit, the latest, coolest version. Let's put that in the inner corner. And then we're going to go in with that same shade, and we'll do that as a highlighter on the nose. And let's do Cupid's bow as well. As you can see, this is a kind of look that I love. There's just enough color here. It's a little bit more elevated than something neutral. So again, going in with this color first would be a great everyday. Like this would be something, if I didn't have a lot of makeup and maybe just a couple of palettes, I would probably hit pan on this, because this would be something I would apply every day. This one would be also fun to apply all over the lid. I haven't done it, but I'm gonna give that a try. But these are two great one and dones. They look beautiful together. For something a little bit more playful, I think this is really beautiful on top. So if you want that effect of a butterfly wing, applying this on top looks really pretty. And it's intermittent shimmer for sure, but you don't have to use this one all the time either. So it just depends on how you want to use this palette. Also, this is an eyeliner, was really pretty. It was subtle. So for me, I have not been using eyeliner. So this is a nice step above that without being really intense with eyeliner. Beautiful though. Love the shades. I think they worked really harmoniously together. And I love the appearance. So this is very much my speed. If you like the aesthetic that I typically show here recently, I feel like my aesthetic has changed over time, but if you like the aesthetic of minimalist makeup, really just emphasizing the features, bringing light to the eye area, that is the kind of makeup that I love without having a lot to distract from the eye area. So I think that's what this can do. And then going in with the lip shears. Oh wait, before I do that, I wanted to pull this, I have my Chantecaille fragrances up here. I thought the Wild would be nice for this, because butterflies are pollinators. In fact, actually I probably could have done that with any of these fragrances back here, but this one made me think of this Le Papillon. Really beautiful floral fragrance. The notes here are, I just pulled it up just to double check. The notes here for Le Wild, oh, gardenia. Gardenia, modern floral experience with its heady floral atmosphere and green crispness. So it's got a green element to it, which I love with florals. It kind of takes down that potential heaviness that can come with florals. And then for the lip shears, I wish these were permanent items for them. So whenever they come up as these limited edition, by the way, this is limited edition as well. Anytime they come up with these limited edition lip shears, if you like them, I would pick them up, because typically they're in very wearable shades, and I think that's one of the things that really came to mind with this collection. And as I said at the beginning, these are highly anticipated items for me because they don't release a whole lot of collections throughout the year. They're very limited in their amounts of products in a collection, as well as the number of collections that are released during the year. So I've got to say, I think every release of theirs is highly anticipated for me, especially that the beginning of the year, these colors are very wearable. These are very wearable but whimsical. I love that it introduces a little bit of color. That is my favorite part about Chantecaille makeup, is they really think about the wearability and the fact that these would be items that someone would use frequently. So I hope I was able to show you how I would use this. Let me know if you picked this collection up. I'm tempted to pick up the other one. Let me know if you have the other palette with the green in it. It looks really beautiful, but I'd love to hear your thoughts if you picked it up. But this one definitely is right up my alley. The green one might be something fun, but not something I don't know if I would wear that as much with my coloring. But if you love that palette, please share with us your coloring so we can see who it would work on if anyone was considering that. So was it worth the anticipation? Yes, for me, it was definitely worth the anticipation. I will be using this frequently. I'll be using it probably in tandem with this palette by Chanel. Like, this has become a highly used palette, and now I think this will join it. I actually think using these two together will work really, really well. And a huge thank you again to Chantecaille for sending everything over. But that's it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. And then another thing, I know that people prefer no bangs sometimes, but what can happen with my hair, no, not bangs.